What's happening?
What is cracking, guys?
Bourbon time. Bardstown Discovery 3. We are looking at a bourbon that's 55% alcohol, 110 proof. I love the label right here. It shows you exactly what's in it. We don't know exactly which distilleries it's from. Mike, you kind of have a hunch on what it is.
Right. Well, the Indiana is for sure MGP.
There you go.
For sure. And then the second one is Barton. Most likely. They're the only ones I know of that do the 18% rye mash bill.
Yeah.
And the third one could be Beam or Turkey, but I'm pretty sure it's Wild Turkey.
So when he says Indiana, it's 45% Indiana whiskey, 13 years old, 32% Kentucky whiskey at 13 years old, and 23% of Kentucky at 10 years old. So you're looking at a 13-year-old, and then 23% of it is 10 years old. So you kind of balance all that out. Yeah, majority of this is a 13-year-old bourbon, bottled at 55% ABV. Retails at $130.
Bingo.
And you can find it.
Oh yeah.
It's good bourbon. It's well-known bourbon, but it is available if you want it. So that's why we kind of wanted to do a review of it, because we do enjoy this bourbon, and you can find it. And you know, 130 is not cheap for it, but I've heard I tasted this to someone, and they're like, yeah, it's good, but it's, George T. Stagg is 100 and this is 130. It's not as good. I'm like, what? It's not really.
Not for you, it's 100.
Yeah. So you can't really compare it like that. It's a little unfair comparison.
Yeah,
but.
And this is the first Discovery series that has MGP as well. Bardstown has a lot of mixes with MGP, but the first Discovery with the 45% Indiana MGP. So it should be interesting.
The nose is just very nice. It's got rich maple and beautiful cinnamon spice, fruity with like apples and pears. It's almost like your apples have been like cooked down with like brown sugar and cinnamon. So they're just kind of like rich in flavor, kind of creamy and buttery, cinnamony and brown sugary with like toffee, caramel. And all those kind of like beautiful sweet flavors with kind of like apple and pear kind of fruits.
Yeah, the fruits explode, man. Apple, pear, pie, crumble, little almond brittle. Even though it's only 23%, especially comparing it to Discovery Series 2 that had a little more turkey in it, I'm getting some of that turkey funk, like crushed peanut shells, peanut dust everywhere.
Dusty peanuts for sure.
Yeah, all the, like being in the rick house with all the moisture in the air from all the different barrels and rows and shelves mixing together. But that fruit for sure is the star.
Yeah.
It's basically everything you want in a classic bourbon.
It's very warming. It's the holiday season. It's so reminding me of Christmas time.
Comforting.
Fireplace.
Yeah.
Rich from the 55%. And it's just very welcoming.
Yeah, the ABV is perfect on it. Rich and dense. It just fills your nostrils.
And I love that kind of like peanut dust takes it to that next level for me.
Yeah, complexity.
Palate?
Palate. It's really nice.
Palate follows suit. Rich, cloying.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You're getting a little bit of leather, a little bit of sandalwood.
Spice, man.
But those cooked down apples with that brown sugar and cinnamon and buttery, creamy, a little bit of that pear. Coming through like the holiday season, you're getting almost a little bit of that pie crust also coming through. That peanut dust is one of my favorite parts about it, because it adds a little touch of that funk. Just really enjoy some rich maple sweetness kind of going on there as well. It kind of follows suit in that line. It's not the world's most complex bourbon, but it's a comfort kind of a bourbon. There's comfort food,
So holidays, Christmas time.
And it delivers.
Yeah, and I get
Delivers.
I love the blend because sometimes with MGP, for me, the higher rye 21% recipe, you can get a little bit too much of like the citrus and some rye spices. But with this guy, the only spices I get are like nutmeg, clove, allspice, cinnamon. Like you said, holiday, families around cooking, apple pie, those kind of spices. So
yeah,
just the way Bardstown blends right now these days is on point.
Yeah, and it's just like beautiful like molasses cookies.
Oh yeah.
Molasses cookies with molasses, cinnamon, ginger, brown sugar, and the dough, and you turn it into cookies.
It's like the holidays, man. Just everyone's cooking, the cookies and everything, all the pastries, the sweets,
totally works. A couple drops of water, kind of livens up the nose a little bit, but the flavors are kind of still the same. I'm not really getting anything new. Like I said, it's not ultra complex. It's just kind of done right.
Perfect classic bourbon. And the oak spice, that leather back there, is really nice. It's light oak, but then mixing with all those holiday spices.
One more sip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, I think with water, I get a little bit more of the maple sweetness. A little bit. It actually became a little bit less oaky almost with water, where sometimes when you add water, it gets more oaky. So a little bit less of that leather, and a little bit less of that like kind of woody element. But very enjoyable. The number one thing I could think of with water brings out a little bit more maple sweetness.
Yeah, with the water, actually, it's interesting. I said about the MGP, the water actually brings out a little more of that like MGP citrus. I'm getting like a little bit of orange peel, even tiny bit of a grapefruit peel.
Yeah.
But everything else, like the apple pie, all the cooked down apples, pears, the fruit, the cinnamon, all that spice, it's all still there.
Finish is lingering.
Mouth coating.
It's got a nice, strong finish.
Yeah.
When you're paying $130 for a whiskey, that's what you want. That's what you expect. I think this whiskey delivers. I think this whiskey, $130. It is a recommended buy from me. I'm giving it an 87 out of 100. Very good whiskey.
Exact same thing.
Yeah.
Couldn't spare myself.
Yeah.
87. Can't really say it's a value, but for the money, it's a recommended buy.
Yeah, I think given that you go out there sometimes and you spend $200 on a bourbon and you're disappointed in that realm, can you find a better value buy? Can you find something that's an 87 for 60? You can.
Right.
You can, but we're not talking about the best buy of the world. We're just saying it's very solid. And it's an enjoyable whiskey, worth giving a try for sure.
And these days, you could do a lot worse.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let us know what you think of this. If you've tried it, thumbs up is most appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell because we got many more reviews to come.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.